this experiment, you will begin with a sample of copper metal. You will perform a series of experiments which changes the form of copper, but ultimately will return to copper metal. Obtain about half a gram of copper and record the exact mass in your lab notebook. Place it in a small beaker. In the hood, add 5 milliliters of concentrated nitric acid to the beaker. Be sure to wear gloves. Nitric acid can cause burns. The gas produced is also toxic, so keep the hood sash low. A micropipette already set to 5 milliliters is provided to measure the nitric acid. Leave the sample in the hood until no more gas is being produced. Meanwhile, place 80 milliliters of water in a 250 milliliter beaker and have it ready. After the reaction is complete, add the copper solution to the beaker of water. Use some water to wash the remaining solution into the new beaker. Do not use more than 20 milliliters of water for this step. At your lab bench, add 30 milliliters of sodium hydroxide to the solution and stir. Place the solution on a hot plate with 2 or 3 boiling chips. These will ensure the sample does not boil over. 2 or 3 is all you need. Heat, stirring occasionally, until the sample changes color. Remove the beaker from the heat and allow it to cool and the copper to settle. While it is cooling, heat 200 milliliters of water. When the sample has cooled, carefully decant or pour off the liquid. It's better to keep some of the liquid behind than to lose any of your solid sample. You may need to set it down and let it resettle a few times. When you've removed as much water as you can, add 100 milliliters of hot water. Stir and allow it to settle. Decant again. Repeat with the remaining 100 milliliters of water. If your waste has no solid in it, it can go down the drain. Add 15 milliliters of sulfuric acid to the solid and stir to dissolve. In the hood, add 2 grams of zinc. After the foaming ceases, if there is any remaining blue color, as there is here, add more zinc, half a gram at a time, until it is not blue. Decant the liquid. In the hood, add 10 milliliters of distilled water and 10 milliliters of concentrated hydrochloric acid. Wait until very little gas is being produced, then warm the solution on a hot plate. Ensure that the temperature does not go over 60 degrees. When no more gas is being produced, remove the sample and add 25 milliliters of water. Stir, allow the sample to settle, and decant. Add 10 milliliters of water, stir, and pour the entire contents into a smaller beaker which you have already weighed. Decant the liquid from the small beaker. Add 10 more milliliters of water to the large beaker, swirl, pour the entire contents into the small beaker, and decant again. Repeat one more time. All the water you have decanted from your solution so far in the lab can go down the sink, as long as there is no solid in it. Add 5 milliliters of acetone to the solid sample. Swirl, allow it to settle, and decant into a small beaker. Discard in a waste container. Repeat with 5 more milliliters of acetone. Label your sample with your name and place it in a desiccator until next week's lab.